If the brain is just as powerful as this pharmaceutical that we have spent millions of dollars creating, right?
Right.
There's something else there, right? It's not just placebo. It's like, wow, the brain is so capable of figuring out other physiologic things in the body that need to happen, that it can mimic a pharmaceutical. It's fascinating.
It is.
Your sandals equal pain. That's a story, right?
Right.
Sometimes people understand the word story better than the word association. If we're able to actually catalog someone's story that's associated with physical discomfort or pain, we can actually create a plan to intentionally and incrementally train to start switching the association.
Beautiful.
Because I'm willing to bet that there are some people who put on sandals with a soft bottom and immediately they're joyful because to them, sandals equals the beach, which equals happy in summer, right?
Totally. Like the example you used with the sandal. It's like a very deep teaching because, like in Tibetan Buddhism, the whole idea of emptiness, which
Hmm.
is the lack of an inherent nature to any one single thing, that nothing is one fixed, solid thing. It's constantly changing. And so that the proof of that is like what you're saying, that uh, we all feel differently. Even the worst person in the world that have some dog or some mother that that loves them.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
definitely.
there's sometimes people get off the table and feel functionally different immediately, and you can see they're trying to find the pain. Like where is it? And I was like, you don't need to keep testing it. I know you want to make sure, but it's like just be in this moment, and allow it to evolve into what's next, and maybe it can surprise us.
Right. And what's also really interesting is because our brains are designed to keep us safe and we're wired to scan for danger because it wants to keep us safe, we very rarely we very rarely get off the table and look for the places that we feel great and test it out. We never hold our breath for the joy that might be around the corner, right? We're
Yeah.
holding our breath for the danger and the discomfort, right? And that's definitely a wiring problem, right? That we all have, but it also can be unlearned.
So that's exciting, and that must be exciting to work at that level with people.
It really is. I find it very rewarding, but I think it's very difficult to get to that place unless you've been through a crisis of some sort where you're
Mm.
really on your knees in surrender. I think sometimes, and that can vary from person to person, and it doesn't have to be all awful all the time. But I usually think, and I usually see the most growth with people, certainly with myself, when you've struggled and you've said, you know what, I want to do something differently. Because usually by the time that they've come to me, and I'm sure by the time that they come to you, what they've been doing up till now isn't working. And it might not be something huge. It might not be this life crisis. It might just be the fact that they're wearing the wrong flip flops, right?
You open up space, and it's not that you have to have answers all the time, but it's like just creating that willingness to go into that and see connections, and see how things build upon each other itself is like starts the healing process. It starts an unwinding and a letting go.
Absolutely. And I don't know about your experience in practice, but over and over again, I'm just so blown away by how much people just want to be heard,
Hmm.
and sometimes, and they even recognize it. I don't think there's such a thing as superfluous information. I personally just love all information, but I think when it comes to someone's health story, if there's a willingness to share, they're sharing it for a reason.
Yeah.
And so often it might even be the first time they're speaking these words out loud. And it's such an honor and it's such a privilege, and that one that I take very seriously, to be invited into someone's world like that. And the story also can keep people stuck. I think that a lot of times, and I see it again and again and again, and it's something that I work on with some of my clients, is that people struggle with compliance. I say compliance because compliance just sounds like it's just a harsh word. They so want to get better. The way that they're feeling right now is just awful. They feel so stuck. And yet the simplest tactics, they actually don't implement. And that's a mindset issue. And if we dig deeper, a lot of times people gain something by being chronically ill. And I'm not saying, oh my God, you did this to yourself, you want to be sick. That's not what I'm saying at all. But very often, if we've struggled for a long time, it becomes part of our identity. And shedding that component of ourselves can be scary. We need to learn ourselves and learn who we are without that identity. And that's really hard work.